asked him to go to Rahman's camp and have them lower his cup and his trunks. The referee did so. So already Lewis has one small victory before the fight begins. Now let's see if Rahman will try to out-jab the jabber, as he told us he thought he could.
Rahman starting off with his left jab to the body, which is what you want to do to make the taller man bend his waist a little more so you can jab him into the face. Then there is no reach advantage.
And as you pointed out, it's quite a challenge getting Lennox Lewis to come down and fight smaller. Among the big men in the sport, he is maybe the most adept at staying big, right, George?
That's a good way of saying it. Rahman has got to understand, look, you get in that ring with the heavyweight champion, you got to become heavyweight champion yourself. For the first time, he's been introduced as the champion, but when that bell ring, it's as much yours as it is his championship. Rahman turns his head to the right when he jabs, and that's not a good idea with a right-hand puncher like Lennox Lewis. I can tell you that Fox have seen it. He saw him turn his head to the right when he jabbed.
One of the criticisms of Brakpan through his career is that he's sometimes off balance after he throws, particularly after he throws the right hand, lifts the back foot, and gives his opponent a chance to counter. When Michael Grant did that kind of thing against Lennox Lewis in Madison Square Garden, Lewis made short work of him.
Rahman hasn't decided yet what kind of style he really would like to get into. I've actually seen him go southpaw, switch hip. You do all these kind of things, that means you haven't decided what you can do and what you're good at, nor is you got it.
Lewis lands a jab. Rahman comes with a right hand over the top of it.
Rahman seems very composed, given this is the biggest event of his life.
He hasn't done anything to make Lennox Lewis be a little self-conscious yet. If you're going to step in and be the shorter man with your left jab, you got to step in with all your might to make his jab become a toothpick and yours a bowling ball.
Rahman stepping around Lewis's left there to tap Lewis on the face. Incidentally, if you have not seen The Rock before, he was once in a devastating traffic accident, which he survived to go with 500 stitches on his head. The right side of his face has a lot of scar tissue, but he has not had problems cutting in that area.
Lennox Lewis is not the kind of fighter who likes coming after you at all. He's a good counterpuncher, and he prefers that the challengers come to him. That's why he's not reaching out as much yet.
We remember a fight earlier in his career when Lennox Lewis had a lot of trouble with Frank Bruno, who was out jabbing him in the early parts of the fight.
Bruno won the first 5 rounds before Lewis landed a huge left hook in the 6th to turn it around and set up a knockout.
Lewis' corner told him not to be too anxious with the right hand. Just keep your jab going, and he's tried it, but he leaped in with the right hand. Rahman's corner was right. Don't try to win but one round at a time. Keep going back to your corner with 1 round in the bank for you.
CompuBox numbers in round 1. Lewis 12 out of 31. Rahman 12 out of 44. Almost all the landed punches were jabs. Right hand, left hook, another right hand by Lewis. First power punch combination of the fight.
And if you're Lennox Lewis, you don't want to go a lot of rounds at 253 pounds. I can tell you that.
Lewis has told anyone who will listen here that he would knock Rahman out earlier.
His mouth is already open. I don't know if that's significant or not.
Lewis says that he would get Rahman in the first couple of rounds. Could be significant, as he may be trying to avoid going the distance here at 5,700 feet altitude.
That right uppercut was pretty close by Lennox Lewis. I also got Rahman thinking now. Put that right hand on the side of your face when you jab. On the left side of your face.
Lewis's big weapon, of course, is his right cross. But he lands a lot of uppercuts when he's on his game. Uppercuts dominated his second fight against Evander Holyfield, helped him win the decision. And go ahead.
Rahman does not want to let Lennox Lewis get his left jab established. he does, it's all over. Make him miss every time he throw the left jab. Make him miss, and then hit him with your jab.
Chopping right hand by Lewis. Landed in the area just below Rahman's ear. Lewis stopping Rahman with a jab there. Rock reaching.
Lewis is trying to get him with that right hand, but he's going to have to just ease the left jab and then feint the right hand and come back with the hook. Almost feinted that time. You got to feint the right hand and then do it with the hook.
Normally when Lewis is able to land his right hand effectively, it's because he set it up well with the jab. He likes to jab to the top of your head, try to get you to look down so that he's hiding his right hand from you.
That's not the right hand you can hide.
Looked like he was starting to go on the prowl.
You see, Lennox Lewis has been able to watch a lot of boxing matches, and he's seen that Rahman is able to be knocked down. And sometimes you don't concentrate on the other weakness that a fighter has. You just go after him with the power. Sometimes you just got to leave that knockout out of the video and study the fighter.
It's a good point, George. The knockout will come.
Two sharp, accurate jabs from Lewis there. Rahman reaching as he tries to get a right hand to the body.
Rahman's plan appears to be just stay in the fight, survive long enough, maybe something will happen.
Now he's able to get a left jab in.
And Lewis with an uppercut. Rahman tries an uppercut of his own in return. Rahman pounding Lewis's left bicep before the referee breaks him up.
There's a good left jab by Lennox Lewis starting to work now.
Yeah, from the middle of the second round on, Lewis has gotten sharper and more prolific with the jab.
Well, Rahman's got this big target, the chest of Lennox Lewis, the stomach of Lennox Lewis. Forget about the head and just get what you can easily get there. He can land shot after shot if he wouldn't aim so high.
Initiating with his jab. Right hand is blocked. Brakpan trying to work him inside.
And working very well, Jim, outworking him.
Left hand uppercut this time.
Now, all things are happening good for Rahman. Lennox Lewis, hands are low. All the things you want a heavyweight, a big heavyweight to do, drop his hands, stand there, not moving his head. You got to take advantage of those things.
However, swelling under the left eye of Rahman already here in round 3, indicating that Lewis might have caught him with the right hand. Rahman gets to the body twice. Lewis throws him off. Lewis wild with the left. Rock goes back to pounding that bicep. Left hook to the body and a left. Rock threw more. Lennox landed at a higher rate. Round 4 begins with a Lewis right hand. Harold Letterman, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, 29-28, 2 rounds to 1. Lennox Lewis. Jim, when you give the big heavyweight champion room to punch, he's brutal. That's what's happening here. Rounds 2 and 3. Lennox got a lot of room to punch. Cut Lewis just like he is now.
The power punches of Lewis seemingly beginning to rock the rock, and now Rahman comes back with aggression of his own.
You know, the bad thing about it for Lennox Lewis, he has no fear of Rahman's power. He isn't covered up at all. Rahman does keep his hands up. You must have fear.
Well, sometimes the way you deal with fear, George, is you attack.
Rahman is attacking.
Lewis with his hands at or below his waist. Brakpan hits him with a right hand inside.
And it was a good right hand. It wasn't a lot of power on it, but it showed him that he can land it.
May encourage Lewis to keep his guard up a little bit more.
You know, the sad thing about it, Lennox Lewis can win this fight with his left hand. And I guess it's so easy, he doesn't want to believe it.
Maybe that's part, George, of underestimating your opponent and thinking you can go out and get him anytime you want, and so you don't work at it.
You don't work at it. He hasn't worked at doing what he can do easily. Do it all with your left jab. You got the height, you got the reach. Now snap your left jab if you're Lennox Lewis. And if you're Rahman, keep attacking. Make a fight out of it. You only get one of these good fights like this. Keep fighting.
And another right hand does Rahman. And pops Lewis just above the ear in the clinch. Some pretty effective punching in round 4 by Hasim Rahman of Baltimore, Maryland, trying to bring the heavyweight championship of the world to the United States of America.
Evidently, Rahman's trainers know that he turns his head to his right when he jabs, so they make him put the right hand right next to his left side of his cheek.
Lewis targeting Rahman's swelling left eye with his jab.
The crowd is chanting Rahman, Rahman. When the underdog stays in there longer than you expect him to, when he performs a little better than you expect him to, he can win the drama of the fight and get the crowd.
Left eye comes from an accidental butt. Letterman asked if any point had been deducted. The answer was no. Only 17 jabs per round by Lewis by CompuBox numbers in the first 4 rounds, and that's fewer than Lennox would want to throw to be at his optimum. Frankly, he isn't throwing that many punches at all. He's been under 40 punches per round. Heavyweight average is around 40. In most of his best efforts, Lennox is much busier than that, sometimes 60 punches around.
Rahman jabs to the left, to the body once or twice, then he comes up with that right hand. Lennox Lewis better be careful.
While Lewis hasn't been busy, he has been accurate, more accurate than Rahman. But that presents a classic quandary for the judges. Is the busier fighter better, or is the one who lands at a higher rate better?
Rahman blinked that right hand. He's having trouble seeing out of his left eye, it appears.
And Lewis goes to the body with the left hook. Trying to get Rock to bring his hands down, give him another shot at that swelling left eye.
You know, you're fighting for the heavyweight championship of the world. If you start to bleed, so what?
So far,
your eyes start to close, so what?
Yeah, you got to go. That's right.
Don't make any looks. Don't touch your face. Keep fighting.
So far, Rahman has done a pretty good job of staying off the ropes and toward the center of the ring.
I don't like him touching his face like that.
His 2 disastrous moments, George, against Moskaev and Tua occurred when he had his back to the ropes. That's a right hand by Rahman that momentarily stuns Lewis. Lewis smiling at him as a result.
Good right hand. That's what you got to do. You fighting for the title. You want the men's titles, go take it.
Excellent chopping right hand.
Lewis stopped jabbing. He can walk into some right hand. That's what's happening now. If you're going to walk to the man, use your left jab.
Lewis with a jab right to the body. Left hook upstairs combination. Now he just fires the right hand.
Lennox Lewis is like a big cat.
Rahman jab, 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 jab. 4 of them. Chases Lewis across the ring. Shades of Oliver McCall, September 24, 1994, in London. Has Rahman pulled the upset? He has. He got a brand new heavyweight champion, and he's from the United States.
And the way he fought the fight, you could see he wasn't taking him seriously because he wasn't fighting his normal fight.
All week long, you were thinking it was shades of Tokyo. There were reminders of Tokyo, Feb 10, 1990, everywhere as they prepared for this fight. Lewis clearly preoccupied with other things in his life. Brakpan focusing on the business at hand.